Hey guys, I'm Adam from MPW Performance and Race Fab down in Keysborough, Victoria, or Mexico to most of you guys.
Abe here from MPW, Chief Fabricator.
We get asked on a daily where our YouTube channel is or where it's going, what's happening. So we thought we would give you guys a bit of an update on what we're doing, and we're going to start bringing back our YouTube channel. But truth of the matter is we've just been way too busy down here at the moment.
Yeah, big jobs, customers' cars, big projects in the go. We've got, look, tell us about something we got.
So at the moment, we've got that many projects on the go, ranging from big block Fords, big block Chevs, small block Fords, small block Chevs, LSAs coming out of our ears. We've got some really cool Coyote packages going at the moment, like 2,000 plus horsepower Coyote packages. Now, we're in lockdown number 5 here. 5. So we think that there's going to be more lockdowns to come, really. So we decided, let's bring back a build video. So, and this is going to be the introduction of us bringing back more build videos to come, where the company's just purchased a VL Commodore and a VK Commodore. We're going to be building them as if it's my own car. We're going to be working in with Trent from TotalWorks. We're going to be doing build number cars on them. So they are going to be how I want them. I'm not going to be working for a customer. I'm going to be building it as if it was my own car with my own target in mind. And then those cars, from the minute we start them, will be up for sale. And we're going to work through a couple of cars like that a year and give everybody the opportunity to come in and purchase them at any point of that build. So that's something that you'll see coming up through the ranks. Now, they're not just going to be drag cars or street cars. We're going to be doing, at the moment, our plan is with the VK going something like a Blue Meanie circuit car. We want to put good suspension in it. We want to probably go LSA powered in the car. Really nice interior. We'll be going awesome paintwork as Trent does. So it'll be a full nut and bolt resto on the car. And then it will be engineered fit for purpose. With the VL, I'm thinking something along the lines of a Calais, and I would say it's going to be one of our 400 plus cube twin turbo LS packages, engineered for fit for purpose. Now that may mean that we need to drop it back down to a 5.3 to be able to pass engineering and get it in there. But this is the kind of thing that we're moving forwards with. Now, we always get asked about no-show.
Yeah, when's it going to come back? What are we doing with it? Are we going to continue with it?
The answer is yes, it's going to come back at some point. Yes, we are going to continue with it. Yes, we still have it down the back. But having said that, we've got all of these other packages on the go at the moment. What engine do we put into it? What's going to be exciting to put into that car to bring it back? Bearing in mind that that car can't come back and run mid-8s. It can't come back and be a 9 or 10 second car. It's got to be the next level.
Yep.
Now, All Show, just before this lockdown, we managed to get All Show back out with the new Nexus. Mm-hmm. And with that, we finally have power management. We finally have data. We finally have everything going on in that car where we can see what's going on.
We have multiple ways to power manage, opposed to what we had before.
Exactly right. We've gone over to drive-by-wire on it.
Yep.
We've also gone to a Nexus. We've got shock travel sensors in that car now. We've moved our suspension program in-house and set up with a lot of tooling for that, and also software and programming for that as well. We have managed to get to the track on our first outing with this new combo, and we did 4 60-foot passes, and we managed to get into the 4s.
Yeah.
So that car's never gone 490s before. It's gone 5.0s a couple of times, but short of that, we're blowing tyres off at 60 foot, or we're having issues with not separating, or we're having issues trying to power manage or whatever, as we didn't have anything to power manage before. We had a 2500, not a 2500T. So with the new Nexus, we can do all of the above, and we're down to 1.20s in the 60 at Heathcote.
Yes.
With very little testing, and we're
repeatability as well.
480s at 150 mile an hour.
Yes.
And then the next pass was a 490. The next pass is like a 488. The next pass is a 492, leading into a couple of pedals and a 751 on the first full pass at 188 mile an hour.
Yep.
And everybody thinks I don't have a limit, and I think that's about my limit at Heathcote for going how the track is at the moment. 190 odd mile an hour, feels pretty fast there. But speaking about Heathcote, that joint's getting way better. Absolutely amazing. Lance and the boys are killing it out there. Best conditions we've ever seen out there, and as I say, that was on a test day. It's unheard of to be able to perform well on just a normal test day out there. But anyway, this isn't about that. We have decided what our next build video is going to be. Fill them in, eh? What are we doing?
Well, look, we looked at what we're going to do for an engine package. Obviously, we've done LSAs 100 times over, and LSAs have now become more money than they've ever been. We all know that LSA started off a really cheap platform. Back in the day, people were going to get it for what, 10 grand?
Eight and a half?
Yeah, it was good. It was great. Everyone got their hands on one, and it was a great opportunity too. But now,
what do people not understand about LSAs now and back when they were 8.5 grand?
Back when they were 8.5 grand, obviously they're being pulled out of cars.
Yep.
And they had all accessories, they had all pulley kits, where now we're getting them without accessories effectively, no pulley drive for blower, and you're looking at what, easily another 2.5, 3 grand on top of what you normally spend on a motor.
So we're at what, 20 odd grand for an LSA in the current climate.
Yes.
So by the time you get an LSA, put a camshaft in it, you're what, 22 grand roughly. Go and throw all the pulley kits at it with, say, a boost upgrade, because you're not going to replace just a standard balancer. Get a tensioner, get a drive kit for it, you're going to be looking at an extra 3 grand there. We're up around 25 grand. Now at that price, you can go and get yourself a Harrop 2300 on a 400 cube LY6 or something like that, with a forged crank, H-beam Compstar rod, a CP bullet piston, a decent camshaft to do the job. And you're looking at around the 30k mark for that. So for 5 grand
it's
difference,
going to outperform, and it's going to be hella more reliable. It's going to heap more torque. It's going to be a good unit.
100%. Not only that, but that's head studs. That's something like either an Athena or an LS9 gasket in it as well. That's something that's not going to split number 7 bore just because it feels like splitting number 7 bore on Thursday.
So the questions really are, what's going to be the next thing to buy? Obviously, Coyotes are an option.
But we've got Coyotes going on out our ears at the moment, between inquiries for twin turbo Mustangs, inquiries for built engines. We've got one on the go at the moment, which is actually getting built in the States, coming over here as a modular package with dart and sleeves. We're going to be aiming for around the 2,000 horsepower out of that combo plus. So there's no point us putting one of them in it.
Yeah, we're doing one.
So Abe come to me one day and said, what's probably the ugliest car that we can do? We both looked at each other. I said VN, Abe said XF, and Abe won the rock, scissors, paper. Really?
It's growing on me though.
Yeah, it kind of is. My jam used to be XFs when I was kind of 14, 15. I had a couple of them, did a turbo kit on it, all that kind of gear when I was a kid. So yeah, it's got a bit of nostalgia, but now obviously moving into the Ford platform, we've got an XF there. What do we put in an XF Falcon?
I'll put a Ford motor in it, right?
100%. What hasn't been done? What hasn't really been worked with too much in this country yet? What's still a new platform with a lot of bugs to figure out, since we have our weekends on hand being in lockdown again?
Well, that's what we found. We found the 7.3 litre Godzilla, which are obviously in the Super Duties, aren't they, in the States?
They are. So they're in the F250s. They come out in I'm pretty sure the F-150 Raptors had them at one point,
something like that.
And they're Super Duty trucks. So they're already 440 cubes out of the box. They're making good power over in the States, 1,000 plus unopened. So
the engine, but you know, with room to move.
So we decided to move down that package. We gave our friends over at Herod Motorsport a call, and straight away, without even batting an eyelid, we had an engine turn up, thanks to Chris. Now, must say this isn't a sponsored video by any means. We pay for what we get. We'll tell you when somebody has jumped on board and helped us out. Now, Chris and the boys at Herod gave us a trade price motor. They sent it over straight away so we can start development on this thing, which we'll do an unboxing of that tomorrow when we've got it in front of the vehicle. Now, what are we going to power that with? To me, there's only one answer for that, and it comes down to backup service. It comes down to working in with someone to get the trigger angles on this thing working so we can control the camshaft and have variable cam working at a budget price, which we want to keep this as a budget build.
Yeah, the idea is
as budget as it can be, putting a 440 cube twin turbo engine.
Of course. But if we're going to do this, we don't want to take away from some of the other big projects we have on the go. We want to make it so it's user friendly. People can relate to it. It becomes relatable to an LSA swap or putting an L3 in a car if you're going to keep it NA or something like that.
Now, and exactly what Abe said, we can't take away from our big customers. We can't take away from any of our customers and work on our cars during business hours, which means Saturdays, Sundays, we're here. We're here till all hours, and that's what people don't see behind the scenes is the hours that we work down here to make our own cars possible, or our R&D for everybody else.
Yeah, it's all about the research and making sure that we find everything.
Exactly right. So one lot of guys, when we mentioned that we were going to be doing a Godzilla and an XF Falcon, that jumped on board without even so much as being asked to. We literally got a Star Trek parcel, yes, and we had all this Haltech gear here. Bearing in mind that we're doing this as budget as you can for a 440 cube engine twin turbo.
And the Godzilla still has variable cam and everything, so it can't be a simple ECU. It's never going to be.
So we can do single cam control with the Elite 2500. Now we were talking about all of our power management and everything before. Again, that's not a budget thing. So we're going with an Elite 2500 thanks to the guys at Haltech. We're not going CO2 boost control because you guys aren't going to want that. It's a street car. So we're just going with a Mac valve, and to control that, we're going to have one of their rotary trim dials, which just allows us to have different boost settings or different launch settings within our ECU. We're just going to be running one of their IC7 dashes, which have been amazing since they've come out. So there's just no other choice for us. And the guys have sent us a dual wideband kit. Now we've also got a premium wiring harness here to wire into the factory loom that at the moment come with the Godzilla, but they're not going to be coming with the Godzilla soon. So we'll be able to actually work in with Haltech and make a plug-in engine harness. So when you guys go, hey, I've got a Falcon, I've got a Commodore, I want to put a Godzilla in it, they'll have a loom on the shelf for you. They'll have all the kits on the shelf. They've got little trigger anglers for being able to do variable cams and run full sync in that.
It's going to be the closest you can get to a plug-in unit for one of those.
Exactly right. Now, the other people that we work in with all the time is Jason and the guys over at Tuff Mounts, another family-owned business. They sponsor more motorsport in Australia than anyone else I know. As they say, they're the original and the best. As soon as we said to Jace, look, we want to jump in, we want to do this, he sent us over some 8mm plates to go on the side of the Godzilla. He sent us some generic mount kits. So it's got all of his bracketry in here, it's got all of his bushes in here, it's got everything we need. So we're going to get this engine in position, we're going to get all of the trans angles, all of the engine angles and everything done. And then we're going to send those mounts back to Jason so he can make a production line of them. So when you guys go, I've got an XF Falcon, I want to put a Godzilla in it, no dramas, they're on the shelf, we'll send them out to you. The other people that are part of every one of our builds, not our own builds, but every customer as well, is
the guys from Turbosmart. They've always been good to us. They're really easy to deal with. All these guys here in front of us, the level of contact, how easy it is to communicate with them. If you've got a problem with technical data, they're always there. They're just so easy to communicate with. And that's what's important, I think, for us. But the guys at Turbosmart with their products, it's hard. You can't fault them. It's all we use here for boost control, for gates, blow-off valves. And it's one of them things that, rinse and repeat, it always works, it never fails, you can rely on it, and it's important to do in a boost control setup.
It's just a really good team that we work in with. So, as we said, when we jumped in, Haltech jumped straight on board, sent us some product for this. We've had Turbosmart send us some product for this, we've had Tuff Mount send us some product for this. And then we've also had a phone call from Pat at Aeroflow. Now, we went over to a set of G42 1450s onto All Show earlier in the year. And after that, we've established a really good relationship with Pat and the guys at Aeroflow, and their quality is just getting better and better with each thing that they send. Now, they've sent us over a set of G42 compacts.
Yeah.
So you run through the turbos, Abe. They're your choice to put on there.
So they're a compact size. They're a 73, 75, billet wheel, end mill finish. They look like a good thing. It looks like Adam did whip one out for us. But V-band in, V-band out. We've got a mirrored set, which is going to be good because we're not going to have a lot of engine bay room for this. So we don't want pipes having being an issue around the engine bay with temperature and heat. So these are the 73, 75 from Aeroflow that they provided. You're not going to see it in the camera, but I'll explain it to you. It's a end milled finish billet wheel, which helps with flow. They stay up to a very large percentage. Ball bearing unit, V-band in, V-band out, which is great.
Which allows us to have our pipe work a little bit neater. It allows us to clock that turbo wherever we need to go with it without worrying about a bulky flange.
You're also not worrying about gaskets and things as such.
Now, most of you guys who watch our videos understand this, but just bear in mind that there's several people out there that don't understand the difference with a V-band and a T4 flange, or why we would go to a V-band over a T4 flange.
Obviously, with all the high-end turbos around out at the moment, they've obviously got turbine blade speed provisions as well, and everything incorporated. But they're a good big unit. They're rated to 1200 horsepower on the packet, and you know, you can see the size. It's not that heavy. It's not that big. It's going to fit in our engine bay. Hopefully, not too hard.
Hopefully, I don't have to cut too much.
Yeah, probably will.
We know how to weld it back in. That's fine. We'll make it look good. But now, bang for buck. Now we're by no means pushing down the path of this is the be all and end all. You do have options of other turbos and stuff like that to go down with, but you need to remember, for the budget, for the price, and for the warranty that you get with them, these have been a really, really good unit. And again, the power that we've made out of this, like we've seen over 2,000 at the hubs with All Show on the big brother of this turbo,
which is 7975s.
So the proof's in the pudding with that.
And it's still 2400 horsepower with the turbo.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. And another thing, with having a mirrored set, it's going to allow us to utilise that engine space a lot better than it would a couple of other turbos that wouldn't be able to be mirrored.
Exactly right. And that was where I was heading with this. Was they're one of the only companies that do most of their turbos and most of their popular ranges in a mirror finish, which means that if they're in the engine bay, they look better. If they're hidden, well, it's just easier to get pipework out normally. Like mine are hidden, but it's so much easier with the mirrored pair to be able to bring pipework back underneath the chassis rail and back up into that plenum. So we find that to be a godsend. Now, the next lot of guys that are always helping us out, and since we've started using them, since they've developed, is the guys over at Fastfab. So when we spoke to them about this project, they've just said to us whatever clamps and stuff we need. If you guys don't know, when you see all of our billet bracketry and all of our laser engraved things, all of our air filters and stuff like that are custom engraved with the MPW product or MPW brand name, that's all done by a company called Fastfab. So they've come through and said anything that we want engraving on this car, any filters that we need and all that kind of stuff, those guys have jumped on board with us as well. So all in all, it's going to be all of the products that you see us use here at MPW on this car.
Yes.
Now, I believe we'll run through, you'll see us unbox all of these parts as we're fitting them into the vehicle. You'll see us doing the wiring. Tomorrow we'll run through, we'll actually show you the engine as we pull the cover off of it, and we'll run through that for you as well. We don't want to drag the video out too long. Hey, what else do we have better to do at the moment anyway? Give you guys half an hour of us talking shit. But at least, you know, if there's anything that you guys want to see, anything that you want to know, drop it in the comments for us. Like and subscribe, and you'll see all of our videos moving forwards with this and with other projects that we're really going to make time to do now.
Yeah, looks going to be an exciting thing. Godzilla and a light car, XF, twin turbo. What's not to like about it?
Exactly right. Now, bit of a merch plug. We've got the new All Show t-shirts. We've sold out of our first 2 lots of them. We've just had a 3rd lot come in. So you've got the hoodie over that side, you've got the t-shirt over this side, and it's the start of our 7-second range. We're going to be getting more t-shirts with more customers' cars on there. Again, drop a link on what customer cars you want to see on a shirt and what you're going to buy. We want to see you guys repping MPW and supporting our customers. So we'll head out into the workshop, get this Godzilla out for you.
But we'll open it up and show you what's not included with it, and then we can get onto a stand, whip it open, and show you what we need to do.
Now, one thing we did say as well, you'll notice that this comes with a firewall harness. Or an engine harness to plug into a firewall connector. The boys at Herod were saying that that's going to no longer be included in the later ones coming into the country. I guess like LSAs, they start to figure out what people need and what they don't, so it will be a standalone loom on most of the engines from this point on, but at least to see if you were to buy one in the next couple of months what you're going to get included with it. So that's it. That is the box and packaging off of this. This is the firewall connector that we're speaking about. So that basically has everything engine-wise in here, from injectors, coil packs, down to trigger, so cam and crank trigger. It's got fly-by-wire all wired into it. So at this point, we're going to be removing this and putting it into like a motorsport connector and putting it into the firewall of the vehicle. So one side will go to our Haltech ECU, the other side will be directly connected to this. So we can still drop this engine in with all the wiring on it, but basically what we're going to do is just push in, twist and lock, and that will form our watertight connection for the car.
Keep it really neat as well, obviously, make it easy for motors to get in and out of the vehicle. It's great that they currently come with the loom. There's a lot of stuff here that is going to make it really easy for us to do this conversion really fast and easy.
Not only that, fuel rails, by the looks of it, we've just got what seems to be a 3/8 fitting, which means that we'll be able to get an Aeroflow 3/8 fitting to go onto here, go to dash 8, run a dash 8 line back down to the back of the car, keep fuel system nice and simple. They're a deadhead system, there is no return on these by the looks of it. So we have a couple of different options on either T-piecing up in here, running a return through, putting something on the back, or at this lower boost level, we will just run it as a deadhead system and show that it can be done. So there's no dramas at all there. They come with a factory header, they even come with spark plug leads, spark plugs. As you see, water pump and everything hanging off the front of them already. So we'll see what we need to do. The main thing that we're saying is the sump on these things, the oil pump sits down in the sump, and then that's part of it, it forms part of the pickup. So to get rid of that, to pull the sump up, make the sump wider, go to a front pickup sump or anything, is the part that we're going to be tackling here and seeing what we need to make, what we need to do to be able to get this thing into the Falcon.
Of course, the things that don't come with is an alternator, starter motor,
turbos. They really should.
But hey, they're not going to be hard things to get, and yeah.
So we'll just grab the camera now, we'll do a bit of a zoom around it. We'll show you, check it out. Yeah, go for gold. Thanks for watching. We'll wrap up this first video here. Don't forget, grab some merch if you want. Jump onto our Facebook page, just DM us. We'll be able to hook you up with any merch you want. Let us know what else you want to see on this build. Let us know any questions that you have along the way if you're going to tackle one of these projects. Remember, go-to for engine mounts to get these things in place is going to be the boys at Tuff Mounts. Go-to for engine management on one of these things is definitely going to be Haltech as they're working in with us on this package. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe.